around the world, the demands and pace of modern life place an ever-increasing strain on our roads. Constantly pounded by fast-moving traffic and heavy commercial loads, the first casualty is often the road surface. On bridges, the problems are even more acute. Bridges are essential to improve traffic flow through grade-separated interchanges and generally have one thing in common. Expansion joints must be provided at road level to support traffic over the structural gap. The bridge joints have to withstand not only traffic weight and vibration, but also thermal expansion and contraction, structural movement, extreme weather conditions, and potential corrosion from both water and salt. This highly specialized and innovative area of bridge expansion joints requires the quality engineering solutions provided by Universal Sealants UK Limited, who are recognized as world leaders in this field. Since the early 80s, Universal Sealants has enjoyed a growing reputation in providing and installing bridge expansion joint systems for major motorway construction projects both in the UK and overseas. A major breakthrough for Universal Sealants came with the acquisition of the BritFlex BEJ expansion joint system, for which they hold the UK patent. It's unique and is the only system to use a truly elastomeric nosing. The Universal Sealants Group has grown to employ over 130 personnel across 5 offices worldwide and includes Newfins, a major construction chemical manufacturer, as well as their waterproofing and international divisions. The M1 motorway, which runs past the Meadowhall Centre in Sheffield, is one of the busiest motorway intersections of the M1, with some 94,000 vehicles pounding the roadways every day. With traffic flows of this level, the expansion joints installed into the bridge network take a continuous beating. So much so that only a joint designed to withstand the rigors of modern-day traffic will survive. The M1 Junction 34 project involved removing 280 meters of failed expansion joints from the 3 bridges spanning this section, which had only been installed 6 months earlier, and replacing them with the tried and tested BritFlex BEJ expansion joint system. A system with a proven track record of over 20 years service without failure, this excellent reliability, together with its rapid on-site assembly, has made the BritFlex BEJ system the UK's market leader, and its reputation is growing worldwide. The whole project was carefully managed by Universal Sealants UK Limited, from preliminary inspections and site surveys to the precise planning of the total installation. Phased night working across the carriageways was organised to minimise disruption, and continuous two-way traffic was maintained throughout the installation. The completed project was to take no longer than 12 nights. Following the provision of traffic management to provide a safe working environment, the first task is to mark out and saw cut either side of the failed expansion joint and remove it. Once the concrete substrate is exposed, it must be thoroughly cleaned and prepared by scabbling. This technique also highlights any defects of concrete in the deck, which in the case of the BEJ system can be quickly removed and incorporated within the installation. The trench is now thoroughly cleaned with compressed air to remove all loose arisings and standing water. Once completed, the exposed surfaces are force-dried in preparation for priming. The unique BritFlex elastomeric resin is a 2-part component liquid system which combines high strength and flexibility. The base and hardener resins are mixed together and thoroughly brushed onto the exposed concrete substrate as a primer. When the BritFlex BEJ joint interfaces with the bridge deck waterproofing system, then an in-joint drainage system is provided by securely fixing an aluminium channel to the asphalt face, which outfalls through a flexible tube into the structural gap. The aluminium drainage channel is protected with masking tape and the priming operation is completed. The metal carrier rails, which have been factory corrosion protected, are measured and cut to length on site. Changes in level at verges and footways are also formed and welded to suit. An appropriate spacer plate is selected according to the structural gap and attached to the strongback hangers which suspend the rails in position over the expansion gap. The rails are checked for line and level to ensure a smooth ride for the traffic. Polystyrene shuttering is cut to size and placed temporarily to form the structural gap. Exposed surfaces are protected with masking tape for neatness, and the installation is now ready for the pouring of the BritFlex resin mortar. This comprises of a unique blend of base and hardener resins combined with pre-weighed aggregates. The resins are preheated to approximately 55 degrees centigrade, batched off and thoroughly mixed together before adding to the preheated aggregates and mixed for 2 to 3 minutes. The BritFlex resin mortar is then poured into the trench, and as the material is free-flowing, there's no need for compaction. The composition of the mix allows it to flow to the exact contours of the deck, filling in any spalling or inconsistencies. This removes the need for typical deck repairs, which can be both time-consuming and costly. Sufficient material is mixed and poured to fill the whole trench, and the mortar is carefully troweled off to provide a smooth finish. If required, an anti-skid coating can be applied to the resin surface before it cures. The joint is quickly covered with a tent, and hot air is forced through at approximately 70 degrees centigrade to accelerate the cure. The BritFlex resin mortar forms a high tensile bond so strong that in British Board of Agreements tests, the concrete block broke before a pull-off value could be achieved. This bonding property and high flexibility ensures that the BritFlex BEJ system avoids problems associated with other nosing-type expansion joints. Within 2 to 3 hours, the BritFlex resin mortar has cured, and the polystyrene shuttering can be removed. The specially designed load-bearing neoprene element is supplied in coils of up to 60 meters in length. This allows one continuous length to be inserted across the carriageway, providing an impermeable seal. Using special tongs, the neoprene element is compressed into the gap and inspected to ensure secure location in the carrier rails. The completed joint can now be immediately opened to traffic. The advantages of the BritFlex BEJ system. The BEJ system is a proven system with a 20-year track record without failure on some of the world's busiest motorway networks. Rapid on-site assembly, minimizing installation time. Waterproof and very hard wearing. Cost-effective. The system requires very little maintenance. The BritFlex BEJ system has been installed by Universal Sealants in motorway and trunk road systems both in the United Kingdom and throughout the world, with recent contracts completed in Russia, China, Pakistan, Kuwait, Singapore, Malaysia, Turkey, France, and Indonesia. This success overseas has led to a remarkable increase in growth for the company, and has seen the Universal Sealants Group expand to have offices in the Middle East, China and Singapore, making their mark as a truly global company. Universal Sealants, bridging the gap worldwide.